Hello everyone. I thought I'd do this review today in my invisible suit. You can't see me of course, but I am here. I could be anywhere on the screen right now. Do you believe me now? I'm coming for you. That didn't sound right. Okay, so there are two things that you get when you go to the movies at 10:30 in the morning on a weekday. One, there's only 3 people there. 2, they're all over 70. This movie was scary in some parts. I was more scared for the guy next to me. I felt like the next jump scare was going to be the end of him. Are you enjoying this movie, Shani boy? 2319! Alright, so The Invisible Man is directed by Lee Wannell. The cast includes Elizabeth Moss as Cecilia Cass, Michael Dorman as Tom, Aldous Hodge as James, and Oliver Jackson-Cohen as the crazy ex, Adrian Griffin. And the story is about a woman trying to get away from an abusive boyfriend. And he's a tech genius, of course, so he's able to make a suit that makes him completely invisible. And at every turn, she thinks he's in the room, and he is trying to track her down, and no one believes her. That's kind of where it all starts. Let's just start with Elizabeth Moss's performance. Actually fantastic. Like, really good. I've only really ever seen her in a few episodes of Mad Men because I didn't watch the whole series. That was my only exposure to her. She was fantastic in this. She really carried the film. And I was kind of blown away by the end of it. Like 2 hours, she completely carried the film. Because there's a lot of scenes of her just like being in a room by herself, having to like, react to thin air. And she did a really good job of that. I was very invested in that character. She did a great job of really bringing you in and you wanting to know more about the situation, wanting to know that she was going to be okay. And every scene, the suspense built more and more, and she did a great job of keeping that audience, well, all 3 people in the audience, very captivated. So a job well done on all fronts with what she's done. The other cast members were also fantastic. I don't think there's a single person that I kind of looked at and thought, oh, you're not pulling your weight. Every scene that everyone was interacting, it all felt very believable. Especially the crazy boyfriend. He was only in it really for like 10 minutes of the film, but the way that he kind of became so menacing when you could see him, it was just such a great setup, and you do see him later on. Now, another character that gets a lot of screen time in this is Cecilia's friend James. He kind of plays the strong friend figure in this, and the movie brilliantly gives you this feeling that the protection is not too far away if he can get there in time, and it's a kind of a good little ebb and flow of vulnerability in some moments, and some moments that she does feel more protected. But the music and the cinematography of this thing, the music is so like right in front of you. It's not even there just when the jump scares happen, but it's also there when just things are bubbling up and there's loud orchestral numbers that just kind of pop out of nowhere. And it's very present. The music is very present in this film, and it's really trying to make a statement and really build that atmosphere. And it did a very, very, very good job, everybody. The cinematography also, naturally, this had to be shot a little bit different from other horror films or scary films, because it's not always relying on the jump scare, although you will see those at times. Let's face it, you can't do a jump scare into something that you can't see anything. So a lot of the camera work was just showing big open rooms and nothing's moving. And you're just constantly looking and going, okay, what am I seeing here? Can I see him walking around? Oh, there's a bit of steam there. Coming off that frying pan, is he going to walk through that? There's a lot of that. But I think that's such a brilliant thing to include here, because I don't want to always see him walking around. I don't want to always get a jump scare. Sometimes I just want a still image with a completely static room, and the audience needs to look and see if they're even seeing anything. And that was really well done. And I never thought the use of empty space and a static room could be so menacing. It's just so skillfully done. And the actual villain of this, slowly but surely, the tension that is built from clues being left around here and there, and more scenes that you start seeing clues of him being around. I mean, it's just, the pacing of this was very well done. It was a 2-hour film. At no point did I feel like this was dragging. I thoroughly actually enjoyed this film. This film is very much a psychological thriller, where she's ultimately the main character going around trying to convince people that an invisible man is stalking her. And of course, the reaction from a lot of these characters are like, an invisible man is stalking you. Yeah, of course, no worries. You want to sit down? Why don't you just wear this straitjacket for a while? It's very much like that. And again, I just think that all the characters, the cinematography, the music of it, the way it's shot, and the journey that she goes on is so worthwhile. It's a very good, scary horror movie. And I definitely think if you get a chance to see it in films, go and see it. But just quickly, the only thing I didn't like about this was the ending. I won't spoil it. I just saw it coming from a mile away. Something happens in the film, and I'm like, oh yeah, I see where you're going with that one. And then that's exactly what happens with it. Just a bit disappointing, which I'm sure you know too, when you can see the plot coming from a mile away. And that's exactly what eventuates. So that was the only thing. But all in all, it was very good. Go and see it. But that's it today. I wanted to keep it short today, but there'll be some more reviews next week, and also something else dropping next week, which is very special. I'll tell you all about it when I drop it, so you'll see it. Okay, goodbye.